Good morning. So we're up early today and we're going to head off to Sigiriya, which is an ancient rock fortress about 2 hours north of Kandy. So we managed to find our first bus this morning in Kandy. Bit of confusion. We went to what we thought was a bus station, turned out it wasn't. Got directed down another road, found some buses, and we're halfway to Sigiriya. Have our tickets.
So the reason we're starting out with the museum is we are terrible at visiting these sort of historical World Heritage sites, thinking they're really cool and then not really knowing anything about them. So quite often they have museums at like the end of a tour or visit of these kind of sites. This one's at the beginning, and actually I think that's better for us because it means we can go around, learn about the actual site, and then know what we're actually looking at once we go outside. We have finished the museum tour, which was alright. There was some reasonably interesting stuff there. We know a bit more about the history of the place. Unfortunately, the security was like way over the top. We get to a section where no cameras, and we were just filming the no camera sign, and then they went crazy at us, and then stood right on our shoulder, which made it less enjoyable to walk around the exhibition, having a security guard hang around you like a... Anyway. In the inner moat, this is like the western wall of the city. So, or this would be the western wall of the city. This is the inner moat, the outer one over there. I'm guessing the rich people lived in the inner city.
So we followed the signs to the mirror wall, and I kind of expected to see a wall with mirrors in it, but apparently this is it, and it's just because it's really highly polished.
This is I think called the Lion's Gate. These are the lion's feet, and there's steps that go up between it. The head is missing from years back. We're going to go up the top, have a look at where the palace used to be. More impressive than this, though, I think, was there's a bunch of, or a handful of frescoes painted on the side of the cliff. Now we couldn't film or take photographs; they're protected. But more impressive than the pictures themselves is how the hell anybody got up there 1,000 years ago to paint them, because we were on fixed platforms and spiral staircases. I don't see how anybody could, on an overhanging rock like that, get up there and paint in that way. It's quite amazing.
take him home. Oh, sleeping. So we made it to the top of Sigiriya. It's pretty hot.
It's really hot. There's a lot of steps, but it is definitely worth a visit.
Yeah.
It's a lot more interesting than I had suspected, being a historical site, which isn't normally our thing, but it is really interesting to see this. And
the views from the top are pretty stunning as well.
Yeah, and to imagine what it would have been like over thousands of years, and like what they call a palace up on the top here. It wouldn't have been a particularly big palace, but it still would have been quite an impressive sight, say 1,000 years ago, when this sort of thing of rock just sticks up out of the valley floor and there's nothing else around it. To have a palace built on top of it, and all the staircases and the paintings, the monastery through the years. It's interesting, and it's definitely worth a visit.
Plus, there's little puppies up here.
Puppies, yes, that you can't find anywhere else in the world, of course.
I can't help it that I'm a sucker for small furry things. Right, but now it's getting on a bit, so we're going to head back down. Hopefully.
We can hear plenty of rumbles of thunder in the distance, and stood on top of the tallest rock in visible distance in a thunderstorm probably isn't a wise idea. It has already been quite a long day.
We're halfway back to Kandy now.
Well, sort of.
Partway back.
Still got about 2 hours on the bus, but it's getting dark, so it will probably be pretty uneventful. So we're probably going to leave it there. So thanks for watching.
I was just going to say one thing. I was going to say it's totally doable to do Sigiriya on a day trip from Kandy. We weren't sure whether it was or not. It's cost us just under 300 rupees for the buses, which is about £1.50.
Yeah, and so it's perfectly fine, but we will be back in the dark.
It's a relatively long day, but if you're thinking about doing it, absolutely, it's definitely worth it.
Doable. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.